5 ways to help a child with contamination and germ OCD without sort of stressing them out. Hi, I'm Julie and I regularly post videos and I also post to my blog trying to help parents who find themselves in a situation like I was, supporting a child with contamination and other subtypes of OCD. It's a tough gig and nobody gives you a handbook on what to do, and very often you can make it worse by not knowing the right things to do, like I did. Alright, so now I'm going to share some tips on 5 ways on how you can support your child with contamination and germ and other subtypes of OCD without sort of making it worse and stressing them out. The first thing to do is to find a calm space to work. I mean, when my daughter was a teenager when she was diagnosed, so what worked for us was a coffee shop. She used to love to sit in the coffee shop away from all her OCD concerns and we chat there. But obviously it will depend on the age and the preference of your child, but you will know their calm place. Sit in that calm place, it could even be in your car, and ask them what exactly it is about contamination OCD that frightens them and scares them the most. The second part of the process, tip number 2 then, is to separate the OCD, and this is what I didn't do. It's a bit ironic really, because in the books that I started writing to help parents with OCD, that's the first thing I did, was create a character who was called Hank. But I didn't know to do this when my daughter was first diagnosed with contamination OCD. So that's the second thing to do, is to actually separate the OCD. So how do I separate OCD from your child? The best way is to create a character. As I said, I named mine Hank the Hungry Monster because it never got full. It kept demanding all these ridiculous things to be done. So think of a name, get your child to think of a name, get them to draw it, even if it's a stick character. I'm not very good at drawing, so I got somebody to illustrate it for me. But just do it on a stick diagram. Sit down with your child in that calm place and say, right, what are we going to go to call OCD? What does he look like? Give him a name, make up a character. And from there on in, don't sort of refer to the OCD as being your child's OCD, because it's completely separate from your child. So if they were asking for reassurance or a reaction, just say, look, I'm not speaking to Hank today. If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. But, you know, if they're asking for reassurance, say, I'm not going to give that reassurance to Hank. And funny enough, I did this on my youngest daughter with anxiety the other day, and it did work. She was asking for reassurance around her weight. And I said, look, if you want to, you know, Hank is giving you these ridiculous questions to ask me. If you want to answer them, that's absolutely fine. But I'm not going to answer them. To be honest, it works. She stopped asking me. So separate OCD from your child, give it a name, draw a character, and from there on in, refer to OCD as that character and not being part of your child. Number 3 is, in this calm place, come up with a plan. Because ultimately, the best way of dealing with contamination OCD, germ OCD, and any other type of OCD for that matter, is to come up with a plan and then to expose your child to their biggest fear. This is called exposure therapy, and it's been proven to be the best way of helping a child with OCD issues. So the best way to do this is to actually come up with a plan. I did it again in a coffee shop, but then you know there are other places you can do it. We got a big coloured piece of card and some coloured pens, and I got my daughter to sit down and write every single OCD issue that she wanted to tackle. And then we scored it out of 10, with 10 being the most difficult and the most scary, with 1 being the least scary. Now I'll give you a top tip here. At this point of the process, nearly every single item on that list is going to be a high scorer. So what you need to do then is select the lower scorer. If they're all reaching 9 and 10, which chances are they probably will, particularly with contamination and germ OCD, then the best thing to do is give your child some control over the situation by allowing them to select the first thing they're going to tackle on that list. And then that becomes your first challenge. You then need to come up with a plan and break this up into baby steps of how you're going to actually achieve this challenge. It could be that each time the child has an urge to do a compulsion, they're going to count to 10 before doing the compulsion. It could be they're going to break up steps how you achieve doing that. You know, you might need even more baby steps. It's just a way of really breaking it up into manageable steps of how they're going to approach it. Like if they've got contamination and germ OCD, it could be that if they're using 30 wipes in a day, you're going to say, right, we're going to reduce it to 29 wipes by the end of the week. Could be they're going to be really more optimistic. You're going to reduce it to 25 wipes a week, which will involve reducing it 1 wipe a day. You just come up with a plan of how you're going to break it up into baby steps and then just get them to start implementing it. You then want to distract them, because when they're going to reduce on this compulsion, whether it's going to be delay in the compulsion, whether it's going to be reducing on the amount of items they use for the compulsion, whichever approach you're going to take, it's going to be really, really hard for them and really cause them a lot of anxiety. So what I found worked well, when my daughter was trying to do exposure therapy, I would try and distract her intrusive thoughts, because they're still going to keep popping in their head, and it's still going to make them feel really, really anxious. So just distract it. You can do this by conversation. You can do it by going to a different place to carry out, the exposure therapy. Whatever way you choose to do it, distract it, either with conversation or with engaging them in another way, as I say, by going to a fun place or going on a ride in the car. We very often went for a ride in the car. Whatever way works for you, just distract it in some way possible. And then comes tip number 5, which is to reward the successes. A lot of therapists out there are really against rewards, particularly ones that deal with anxiety. They say, no, it's a way of bribing it. But let's face it, we are the parents who've got to try and deal with a really anxious child who's not just impacting their own anxiety in life, but they're impacting on the whole family, including siblings. So we've got to find a way, a sweetener, of making that process a bit easier. And as I said, the one way is by distraction, the other way is by offering a sweetener. So on that list you put on that piece of cardboard, and on your weekly challenge, get them to draw what reward they're going to receive for successfully challenging and tackling that OCD issue. It doesn't have to be something big. Obviously, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward. That's where you get the most success. But it can be, like I said, a cup of coffee. It can be their favourite treat of a milkshake or a pizza. It can be having a movie night together. It can be playing a board game. It can be a cinema experience. Whatever it is, every child will have their currency. Find out what your child's currency is and just agree on rewards. So I hope that's helped on my 5 tips on how to help a child with contamination, germ and other subtypes of OCD. We'll just break down the steps again. Find a calm place to chat. Separate OCD from your child. Come up with a plan of how you're going to implement exposure therapy. Decide on a way on how you're going to distract the discomfort around that therapy and reward any successes. Other places I hang out are Instagram. I've got a Facebook group called The Mind Monsters. I've got a blog called copywhatiuse.com. All the links are at the top in my banner, on my YouTube banner. Just click on them, they'll take you through to my other channels. But I've also got a workshop that I'm going to be launching to the public. I've got one planned for the 10th of June. Sorry, the 8th of June. I'm giving the wrong date. The 8th of June. That's between 10 and 1. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm also going to be introducing a new workshop for people who are outside the UK, so it actually works better for your time frames. And I also write books as well for younger children to help your younger children stand up to OCD. So there's a few projects I've got out there. As I say, I've got my Mind Monsters books for children aged 5 to 8. And I've also got my workshop to help parents, where I go into these strategies in more depth. You can find them all on my website, which is www.themindmonsters.co.uk. See you on the next video.